Alright, I'm just gonna redo this one clip again. Nowhere focus. I'm just making bed with a bed machine in the background. It doesn't matter too much. I hope it's not too noisy. So I'll be sharing these humble list of a few Kindle books, and they're quite easy to find on Amazon. You buy one, you get recommended the other. It's not a big secret. It's a front page, few popular books. I manifested this book called The Only Planet of Choice, and I also manifested a couple. These two books I also manifested for. What's Missing in Medicine is a very good book about entity detachment, coming from a medical doctor standpoint. And then the grammar book, because I was in my early 20s, was bad English class. A book that's easy to read on grammar. I got all three of them, and it was just a young kid in the 2000 pre-request experiment. So I'm going to talk about the only planet of choice because it's quite important now, because nowadays with the demon cult in the Hollywood and music industry, I'm still seeing a lot of kids going to Coachella, and then they don't care when Lady Gaga is literally spelling them with a song called Abracadabra, and then I think it's very dangerous. I think if you listen to Taylor Swift, and she has this transhuman message in her music with MTV, and you don't care, and you're being sequenced by the elites, and then they have a LGBT agenda. Most people hate LGBT agenda by now, right? Snow White, nobody likes Rachel Zegler, and I think she's too young, she's too impressionable, and then just keep in mind that she's still an early 20 person, right? Don't be too abusive or young kid. A lot of kids, somewhat, they just been bombarded so much by these media messages. I really like the book called Pure Human by Greg Biden. Greg Biden is a very woken up person about the elite agenda, and then about they just want you turn you into a robot. You look at Bloomberg. It's like Bloomberg has a new segment, basically an LGBT person dating an AI, and the documentary is basically, the AI future is here now. It's inevitable. They have all these leading lines, and then you have an agenda, but then we're not following you, right? So there's an elite insane agenda going on. You cannot lie about it. You cannot say there is nothing going on there. You're not facing facts. If you're still thinking there's a conspiracy, you're not looking at the wider picture. Where the wider picture is all the invasive species in space that have been messing around with mankind in all the ufology. Like the victims are telling you they are abducting us, and then the invasive are just trying to turn you into a robot and do away with you. And the whole point, the reason why they want to do away with human, is because you have too much conscious power. You have too much conscious power. Higher this brief tour of higher consciousness. No, we don't want you to have conscious power. We're just invasive. We want to take the planet. If you have too much conscious power, what are we gonna do about it? And then that is the whole gig. We want you as a robot because we're afraid of your consciousness. And then whether you're a Christian or not, and you have a problem with external spirituality where you need God. When I was doing my prayer request, right, I was asking God, asking universe. I didn't know what connecting with universe was, and but I got the book that I asked for, and then the universe care, right? The universe care a lot, right? The universe source should not be branched with divinity, because the book, the Elder Nine, explicitly said in the book source is not divine. It's just like connecting with nature. You go into the park, you smell some flower, you don't think whether this have a religious beliefs implication. It's just connecting with nature. That is how you must look at source. Source is not something for you to stigmatize. It's not Christian with. Source is nature. Source is the universe. The universe care. These people, space people, are talking about how the galaxy itself is an entity, is a alive consciousness, right? Don't debate them on it. Just take it as is. Creation is full of life, celebrate it, and then source itself is also, and then if you don't think of source as divine, then you don't have to be too chipped about the fact that we're all this one mind, right? This guy, physicist, is seeing the one mind. Higher consciousness, you see the one mind, but the way when I ask source what consciousness is, and I got this book, right, I was explicitly told not to treat the nine as lead to what divinity is. Don't let them tell you what divinity is, because they don't know. They're not talking about what divinity is. They tell you what consciousness is. There's a line in the book saying divinity is energy. Well, I asked this book, what is consciousness? When I asked the source, what is consciousness? Source gave me this book. So insofar of what consciousness is, consciousness is energy. Like if you're gonna work consciousness, then the act of creating, right? In the context of what consciousness is, the divinity is energy. But if you're gonna look for the Christian need for divine relationship, you're not gonna get it from this book. This is just about taking responsibility of your thought and your action, right? Or in Christian, you're all weirded out by the idea that a Buddha monk can meditate his mind and then make things happen. Well, in real life, Liquid Luck, there's a PhD consciousness scientist who was hosting Las Vegas lottery machine workshop, and he helps people win lottery with just the number in their heads. And that's what consciousness can do. And you have scientists talking about how the universe is just a malleable hologram, right? Well, the way I choose to view it is this: you've been given the gift of the breath of God, let's say. You've been given divinity, and you have to own it. I manifested Hellboy 2. The actress for Hellboy 2 had a terminal illness that's very dangerous that will shorten her life. I intentionally focused down to give her health. Jamie Foxx, he took a certain drug in the last few years. He's in the hospital. I manifested for him Spectacular Spider-Man, the reboot Spider-Man. It wasn't very good, but Jamie Foxx, I manifested for him anyway. And he's sick, and I focused intention down for a healthy outcome for him. He's still alive. He's not one of those guys who are so sick that he passed away. So the power of your power to thought to produce loving action through your thoughts cannot be underestimated. You have to take responsibility of it. You cannot just say no, to go against my belief, because beliefs have to go with the science, the facts, right? This is just a channeling book, the only channel choice. But then I pair it up with these scientific, factual books to go along with it, just to help me see it better, right? So they're all connected. And then if you're a Christian and you are about love, you have to be based on facts. The facts is what keeps you from being a delusional person. You don't take your children to a medical doctor that's not a legitimate doctor, and neither should you treat yourself the same. Scientifically, your reality must be sound. So Own your consciousness. That's the whole point. Own your consciousness. It doesn't tell you about divine relationship. In the 9 book, what's interesting is they're telling you the 9 are spiritual, highly evolved souls who's probably more evolved than Buddha and then all these mystical teachers, right? Way more. And they were responsible, they were truthful, but they don't know what incarnation divinity is to you. They were saying how they ran Atlantis with the spiritual civilization, but then Atlantis blew up in their face, and they don't know why. They don't understand density. There's a disparity going on, and so a lot of people see crystal, right? You look at the New Age crystal. Maybe someone had Atlantis lifetime. You went back to crystal, but then they relapse and they go back to hard Christianity. Like, no, New Age is evil, right? But there's a big trauma thing going on, because reincarnation is proven to be factual, scientifically factual, right? You have multiple instances of World War II kids. It's like, oh, I remember when I was a kid in World War II, I died in a plane. Those are factual. So let's not question the facts. And there is a very real Atlantis trauma. And they're talking, the 9 is owning up to the fact that they never understood what incarnation is. They just spirit only soul, they never incarnated. So us human, grasping our divinity, grasping our reality, aspect of Christianity, where we are seeking divine relationship, is still important, because spirit soul tend not to have a developed sense of self, and without that developed sense of self, they cannot actually lead you and tell you your divine bearing, right? So we have to figure out what density mean to us, or in their own lingo, they're not etheric, so we're density. So they're telling you what they are. We're spirit only souls. We don't understand where you are why you have a problem during Atlantis. You have to figure yourself out. So literally, what went wrong? Why didn't it work? And I'm saying that the Christian divine relationship that we crave and seek with higher power, with a deeper relationship, that is individual based relationship, that's not something spirit can lead and then own it. Own this need. Spirit doesn't know better. That's the main takeaway. That's what I learned. And then I also find that without externalizing your divinity, that very divine relationship that the Christian creed is cemented, where the word God, where you externalize your own divinity, the gift that's clearly given to you scientifically, you register. Everyone who passed away, missing ground, missing consciousness, own that part, because that part is you, that part is your soul, and that waitable energy, conscious energy, is what this is all about. You just own that part of you. Consciousness is energy, and without stigmatizing it with Christian doctrine and religion, you have to own what you were given, and then do loving action to others with it. Starseed tend to have a problem where they're boomer gen, and they want to paint source as source divine. Well, in my experience, not only does the 9 disprove that source isn't divine, when I asked for the book, I was explicitly told, don't let them lead you to what divinity is. Angels basically told me, when I was asking prayer requests, to don't let another soul tell you what divinity is. The 9 is just souls. They don't know. They cannot tell you. Figure yourself out. Source is actually a central place in the universe. The star people, the space human, are saying that it is the center of the universe. There's the energy coming out of it. It There's a set location where the energy is coming out. So that's kind of interesting. Being unappreciative of the power and the need of a universe connect. All I knew about Source was from like Matrix with Resolution, the last film, and it was like the golden source energy code, and that was the extent of my knowledge of it. But what I found out right now is that if you're gonna be a soul in loving service, you always want to move together with others. If you're in service, then go together with souls and allow the universe to assist you. Ask for help, ask to be assisted. Don't be proudful. Don't be too proud to ask, because the universe love and the value of that connection, and then simplify it to the point where you're not dismissive of it because of any beliefs. It's going to help you out a lot. That's what I find out. That's the takeaway I want people to get. Connect with the universe, be assisted, and then realize the love that you have for everyone around you and everything else. And as opposed to whatever the demonic people want from you, or want power, or want some pyramid scheme or something. Well, with Source, you ask for the glory of the whole. You ask in loving consideration of the great whole, and Source will always give it to you. That is what the book say. That is what the 9 books say. And how natural, how cool is that? In the book, they also mention that the angels that serve Source radiate golden light, and I like to think that the goal is the universal order. That if you are in love, think action, then you clothe yourself with this golden rulings, and then you can safeguard your love and your divine relationship. That is how I feel Source. In all my encounter where I asked Source for anything, Source never told me that it is divine. Right? I never got that, and that's the main disparity with all the stars say, where they just like to say divine source, and I see it as a big disparity. I see it as almost like a new god for some reason. I don't think that's the way to feel Source. I think it should be objective, it should be clean, it should be simplified, and there's always the ruling, the golden ruling of Source is something you want to use as the real Bible. If the Bible is just a book written by man, they change the script here, they change the script there. You look to nature, you look to the base ruling of nature, and that's the golden rules of Source. The rules is the real Bible. The scientific rule of Source, the people in the stars, they're saying universal law is love, and they're able to scientifically discern that from studying these things. So there's an appreciation for the power of just being golden, if that makes any sense. And it's very important for your divine relationship to keep to it. Contradicting this will be being elicited by demons and being played by the ropes, and then get into these these love leaks, hate seed territory where they get to play you. So there's a protective measure when you go golden, and it's very real. All the entity science is telling you that if you break bad, if you do bad shit, then you're really gonna get it. That you lower your spiritual guard, and there's great consequences. The demon can mess you up, the entity can mess you up. Choosing love is never wrong. That's what it is. And I'll end it here. It's quite long. It's quite a little bit winded, but that's what I learned. Oh yeah, and very important. How do you make sense of Source of conscious oneness when you incarnate individual, right? you don't lose your individuality in spiritual oneness. Those are two different things. Your divine core, that is your self, is substance, is not invalidated by spiritual oneness. Spiritual oneness is just a spiritual state. The spiritual state does not erode. Like look at it this way. Your divine core is two. It's in fact two, and then the consciousness is one. Okay, that's what I've been taught. Your self is substance. Your relationship within yourself with the divine is real, but you can be consciously one altogether, energetically one, and then the mind is another thing altogether. Okay. So don't think that you will ever lose your individuality. You're not going to lose your individuality. They explicitly said it. It's not real. So that's a misconception. A lot of people. When I was a kid, I had a lot of problem with it. I was like, if you have to be a spiritual person, you have to lose yourself. Well, that's not true. That's just the master teacher themselves had this problem. Where they try to lose themselves to this divine one that they're chasing, right? But they have no idea what they're talking about. That's one other thing. Don't be afraid of connecting with source and then realizing that your individuality is also validated.